What's up, YouTube? Shout out to everybody on here for the most part. Yeah, I mean, be back another day, be back another evening for sure. Y'all know my disclaimer. I am not a pastor, preacher. I don't hold any type of office in the church at all. This is not a sermon. We're not here to violate any type of community guidelines, any type of copyright infringement, or any type of privacy guidelines at all. Shout out to everybody who's going to join us live now in the middle, and those who are going to catch it when it uploads to YouTube for the most part. It's a wonderful day, very peaceful, very relaxing. I hope everybody's doing well. You know what I mean? I got a chance to get in 2 workouts today, one in the morning, which was running, and another workout around 3 p.m. In the gym. And whatnot. I thought about a 3rd workout. You understand? But I don't want to overdo things for the most part. You know what I mean? It's just a wonderful feeling, a blessing to just to relax. You know what I mean? Just to relax in peace for the most part. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening for the most part. You understand that? Shout out to everybody who's going to join us live, or whatever the case may be, those in the background. And it's questions and answers. Questions and answers, whatever y'all want to talk about, whatever you want to talk about, whatever questions you got, or whatever the case may be. I thought Gina was going to be live. Why did I think that? Today is the 9th, right? Why did I think Gina was going to be live today? Somebody told me he was in Rome, but it wasn't this week. It's next week. You know what I mean? So all day I've been thinking about if the Trooper God going live yet, but it's the 15th, I believe, or the 16th or something like that, that they will be in Rome, or whatever the case may be, if they're not already there. All right, let's get to it. Chat room. Those in the background, if you got questions, ask me anything. Those in the background, if you don't like me, if you hate me, whatever, ex-girlfriends from grammar school, high school, you got questions. Ex-girlfriends from college, you got questions, ask them. That don't mean I'm going to answer it. You understand? You got any type of question, ask them. You know? I know some people in the background who don't say nothing, who probably got a hatred or dislike for me. Why you don't like me, huh? Why you hate me? That's my question to the haters out there. Why you don't like me, huh? Talk. All right? Especially to them false prophets out there too. I know some of them be watching with their members and whatnot. Feel free to ask a question. You know what I mean? All right? What's up to MAJ90? He says, how you doing? I'm good. What up to Span? Shout out to you. The one that said, should we send our kids to public schools? Well, I mean, I don't see a problem. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, my children are in public schools and whatnot. And my son who's about to go to college, he was in a public school, but he got transferred to a medical high school. Yeah, I mean, his grades got him up out of there to something better. You know, so, I mean, all public schools is not bad. Yeah, I mean, all public schools is not bad. I went to a Catholic school, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and then I went to public school. Yeah, I mean, I never really had no issues, big issues in high school, whatever the case may be. You know, so me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Although they got like Christian schools and stuff like that, or homeschooling. All right, MAJ, he says, I have a question for you. The question is, he said, the question I asked should have been asked from me to Pastor Gino Jennings, but because he's not easy to find, like you to find here on YouTube, so I asked instead, do you think Pastor Gino Jennings will open up the first church, Truth of God, to every city in the world? Some of us can't just leave church we attend in our lives, because the first church is not everywhere and on every city like the Catholic Church. Well, based on the videos and whatnot, I'm going based on the videos. Gino always said, listen, if he had the money, he would. You understand? I mean, I left the false church I was in. I mean, what's so hard about not leaving a false church? You understand? What's so hard about it? You said some of us can't leave. Why can't you leave? What is a cult or something like that? You know what I mean? Listen, I left. I didn't care. I think I drove the van there. I was the van driver, playing the Truth of God CDs. You know, I just left. You know? So, in a lot of videos, Gino always said, listen, if he had the money, he would, you know, build churches. You know what I mean? As far as like in and everywhere possible. I would like a church to be in Newark, New Jersey, or Jersey City, New Jersey. Newark needs it. Camden needs it. You understand? Harlem. All right. What's up to Linda? Shout out to you. Dawn, Epic, Sister in Christ, Marcia, Helena Russell. You says, as you know, okay, you continuation to your question that I'm just gonna call you M90. So as you know, Pastor Gino tells people to leave their churches, but where will people go if they leave their churches? Huh? Well, I didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? You can put on a message. You can put on a message if a Truth of God temple is not near you, or whatever the case may be. Some people have financial reasons or whatever. Putting on the truth right in front of you does more for your soul than going to a false church, right? You're going into a false church, you're sitting there, a woman preacher or a skittle preacher or whatever. Whatever mess is going on in there. You understand? You mean to tell me that you can't leave that, right? Versus chilling at home, watching a message. Which one will be more beneficial to your soul? Getting the truth in you. Remember, communication is communication. You understand? So if you got a demon in the pulpit in the building, you allowing that demon to put that stuff in you? Versus getting the truth right there, right? Of course, people want to attend the Truth of God building and whatnot, and not everybody has a temple near them. But I tell you what, I'm not sitting in no false church. I'm not sitting in no false church. I'm not. At all. I don't care who's there. You know what I mean? And I left. I didn't care who was there. You know what I mean? I just left for the most part. Now they got a skittle in the pulpit. Not as the preacher, but sometimes this fella speak. They be having a known skittle in the pulpit in Jersey City speaking. And they know he's a skittle. His lifestyle, not that he makes mistakes here and there and he's struggling with it. That's his lifestyle. You understand? It got that bad. That bad. It's that bad. It got that bad. You know what I mean? Bishop done passed away. And Bishop, he came from the era of S.C. Johnson and them. He came from under Toro Skinner. If anybody know Apostle Skinner from back in the day, North New Jersey? You know what I mean? He came from that. They had some differences, and he opened up a church in Jersey City. It was all right. Then he got older, and he allowed some fella in the pulpit. Now this fella allowing a skittle to speak in the pulpit. Wow. All right. What's up to I remember they had a comedian there. It was a known comedian they had there in the church too. Cracking jokes. That's the type of stuff that went on in that church. Cracking jokes. Wow, man. Patrick T said, did he get his passport? I believe so. What's up to Khadijah Reeves? Prodigal son, what up? You said, how's the weather out there? Probably like a good 75 right now. Good picnic weather. You understand? Good holding hands weather. Let me not say that because you got people who want to talk about the relationship. Let me not say that. Relationship, marriages and stuff like that. They love talking about that. Let me not say that. All right. What's up to Leo? Sister in Christ. You said, does that mean relationship questions? Oh my goodness. The relationship question. Wow. You done made the phone fall with that one. You done made the phone fall with that one, sister in Christ. Wow. Relationship talk. Well, this is questions and answers, and it's just that I don't know, the relationship thing, marriage talk is just, it's irritating, but I still got to talk about it, you know, in general. So if it's questions about that or whatever the case may be, then hey, we can talk about it for the most part. Just that, you know, in other lives, when we have certain topics, we could be talking about health and wellness, but it's always somebody's bringing up something relationship. Yeah, I mean, it can't wait to lives like this, you know, to them people out there. All right, Marcia, appreciate that. Thank you. You says they can only dislike you because you post the Truth of God videos. Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them. What's up with German? G4 says, what can we do for fun that's seeking after holiness? What can you do for fun? I mean, there's bowling. There's going on for those who like boat rides. Some people go golfing, Top Golf. Yeah, I mean, you go out to dinner. You understand that? There's a bunch of things out there. Play basketball, football, exercise. You know what I mean? But fun to a lot of those people out there is going to the bar, drinking, going to the clubs, boogieing. You know what I mean? Going to the club at night. They club hopping. 1 in the morning. 1 in the morning, club hopping. They go to one club for an hour or two, go to the next. Go to one club, sleep with a guy in the bathroom, go to the next club and sleep with another guy. Unprotected. They get drunk, they get high. They have sex with different people at different clubs. You understand? What I need to go to a club for? For what? I don't want to be around those demons. For what? I could be doing something more valuable. You understand? For those who like going to clubs and stuff like that. I don't get it. The only time I was in that stuff is when I was a DJ, and I was making money off that stuff. Simple. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I didn't really care too much about it. All right. Epic says, I really came upon some to what, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Tillamook waffle cone sandwiches. What are you talking about? Oh, because somebody asked me what's my favorite. You asked me what's my favorite ice cream flavor. I'm weird when it comes to that. So it's butter pecan. It has to be butter pecan mixed with chocolate, mixed with Oreo cookies. It has to be blended that way. You know what I mean? All right. Justice Power says, what happened to you and Miss Glitter Girl? What? You almost made me flip the table. Please don't mention that thing. I'm going to be nice. It's the month of August. You talking about something from December. I repented for that. Lord knows I repented for that. Man. Wow. What was I thinking? I went against my own rules. Wow. You know? For somebody who claimed to be a church person, you said I wasn't thinking? Well, you know, but we hope the best for people. We pray for people that, you know, that they're doing good or whatever the case may be. You understand? That female came on here with different names and probably still coming on here in the background watching. You understand? They probably come on here still watching. That's the same person who went to the false prophets. Man, they trying everything. You understand? They were trying everything. That's why whoever that person is, Sons of Thunder, who come on here once in a while, always bring her up. And I tell them, you can have her. I don't want that. I don't want that. You know? Now, I don't usually talk about people, whatever the case may be. But when you got a demon like that, I gotta let a person like that have it. You understand? Because we wasn't talking about her. We wasn't talking about her or anything. Once we repented, that was it. That was it. And then the thotty went to the false prophets. You understand? Wow. I can go off, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice. So, hey, whatever that person is doing, I don't pay no mind to that. Whatever. It's almost been a year, couple of months, whatever the case may be. And, you know, you live and you learn. You live and learn. You live and you learn. You understand? Not everybody who say they in church and stuff like that are really of God. You understand that? Why was this person timed out? What happened? Let me see something. Why was that person timed out? They didn't say nothing. I'm lost. I'm kind of confused right now. I agree with that. She was the devil. She was the devil from hell. She was the devil out of hell. I agree with that. Man, she was. Probably still is. You know? You don't know the stuff that woman was saying and doing. Ah, man. I could put a whole lot out. I could put a whole lot out. Especially about her ex who got shot and killed, huh? Why was he shot and killed, huh? Why they found his car in the river? Yeah. Okay. We can let the cat out of the bag on that woman. It's a news story up there. It's up there. I ain't gonna say his name. Only for the respect of the kids. That's it. You understand? Listen, people set people up. All she's gonna do is say, listen, my sister's a cop. Okay, so what? Not a problem at Khadijah Reach. You know? I'm going to be nice, though. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice. You know what I mean? False prophets, the one who she ran to, go check out that story. Man found shot in his car in the river. Why was he killed? Huh? Why? Listen, some people kill you over some punani. Some people will kill you over some punani, and then a woman will try to cover it up. Now, I'm not saying she did. Tell her she better stop playing. Stop playing. You understand? Stop playing. You know? Because she was doing a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of y'all don't know about. A lot of y'all don't know about. You know what I mean? But we going to be nice. We going to be real nice. You know? You understand? Now go run to the false prophets. Go run to them again. You understand? Did y'all know that? She ran to the false prophets in Canada and started talking real bad on, you know, me and people that commonly come on this YouTube channel. Talking bad about y'all. You understand? Almost everybody who commonly come on here, she talked about you. Yeah, the devil could be sweet too, Khadijah. Be careful. Be real careful. Be real careful. You know what I mean? Hey, maybe you should change your life, whatever. Hey, cool, fine. But, you know? But man, oh man. Talk about the Matrix, dodging bullets, punches. Oh, man. What's up to Peter Frank? Shout out to you. Hope all is well, Sister A. Brown. Marcia said, watch First Church videos. That's better than going to a false church. Absolutely. M90 says, Harvin, were you a Catholic? You attended a Catholic school? No. No. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I lost the comments. Okay. All right. What's up to Paulette? Shout out to you. Peter Frank said, you better wait till the live come on. Your live depends on it. Levy says, I went to Catholic school my first 2 years of high school, then public school my last 2 years of high school. Catholic school really messed me up spiritually. Well, you know, I was about, I don't know, 8, 9 years old. So, I mean, I don't really remember anything seriously happening in there. I mean, it was just basic school to me, you know, basic. Yeah, I mean, so I was only there for 2 years and whatnot, and I mean, it was pretty fun, you know. M90 says, I think Pastor Jennings should monetize his channel to be able to build up churches everywhere to support his ministry. Well, I mean, hey, I mean, if they decide to do that, then hey, that's on them, you know. I mean, to each his own. What's up with Sister Monica? Appreciate that at Marcia. Absolutely at Peter Frank. We already talked about that, Patrick T. But this is questions. He says, what do you think about Gino saying a preacher should be paid if the congregation doesn't want him to work a job? What? He never said that. What are you talking about? Unless you made a typo somewhere, and I don't see no typo. So, Mr. Patrick T, did you make a typo? You says, what do you think about Gino saying a preacher should be paid if the congregation doesn't want him to work a job? He never said that. Where do you get that from? Where do you get that from, Patrick T? He never said that. No, he didn't. Where's the timestamp at? You say he said that 3 weeks ago. That's a lie. That is a lie. Are you off your meds? Wow. Where's the video at? 3 weeks ago. You said Gino said that. Talking about the missionaries in Africa. He don't even believe in missionaries. What are you talking about? She don't even believe. He don't even use the term missionaries. What are you talking about? Wow. You got to prove what you're talking about, man. Seriously. Seriously, man. Wow.
Verse 18. What is my reward then?
What is my reward then?
1 Corinthians chapter 9.
1 Corinthians chapter 9
and verse 18. What is my reward then?
What is my reward then?
Verily that when I preach the gospel,
what?
Where I may make the gospel of Christ without charge.
No preacher should be charging you to hear.
Without charge.
You shouldn't pay a preacher a dime.
That's right.
You didn't pay Jesus, did you?
No.
Did they pay Paul?
No.
Did they pay Peter?
No.
You preachers want to get paid, go get a job and go to work or get ready to die. Go to hell.
Huh? What are you talking about, Patrick T?
Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 9.
1 Corinthians chapter 9
And
verse
verse 18.
18.
What is my reward then?
What is my reward then?
Verily that when I preach the gospel,
What?
where I may make the gospel of Christ without charge.
No preacher should be charging you to hear.
Without charge.
You shouldn't pay a preacher a dime.
That's right.
You didn't pay Jesus, did you?
No.
Did they pay Paul?
No.
Did they pay Peter?
No.
You preachers want to get paid, go get a job and go to work or get ready to die and go to hell.
That's right.
Are you listening?
That I may make the gospel of Christ.
You see, this is why, the reason why you preachers can't preach this so firm, because the church is paying you, so therefore they dictate what you say.
That's right.
And this is why the preachers are very careful by stepping on the toes of board of directors and church members. And he won't preach against divorce and remarry because some of his board of directors may have 2 or 3 wives. We bring it to you free.
But the fact of the matter is that they were cared for. In fact, God orders the people to take care of the man of God. So are you saying that you yourself in no way are provided for by the church?
I got a job.
This is true, but are you saying you are in no way cared for by the church?
I work. Church don't got to pay. The church don't have to take care of me. I got 7 kids.
Okay.
And I'm not looking for the church to take care of my 7 kids.
Absolutely.
I got a job. I work. I take care of my family. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. Even the Bible point out the Apostle Paul occupation.
Absolutely.
And said he was a tent maker. I have met men that told me straight up the only reason why they got in the pulpit was because they couldn't find work.
Wow. Here we go. Let's get to some more comments. What's up to Be Holy? Shout out to you. M90 says, I would love to attend First Church with God, but it's just not where I live, so I am still going to the church I have been going for some years. Pauline says, can I have Minister McKenzie's number? I would like to attend the Boston Temple. I mean, I don't got his number, but Jeremy Dunbar. Is Jeremy Dunbar here? Span goes to the Boston Temple. Christopher Span goes, right? Christopher Span, Shirley House, and Jeremy Dunbar go to the Boston Temple, I believe. And C-Rock. All right? So if they in here, they can provide you with, certain information. Sister A. Brown says, how far near is your temple at Bro Tony? Are you able to attend most weekends? No. There's no firm temple. They do rent out a hotel out here in Charlotte. But like I always tell people, when I was up north, I went to the main temple in Philly. And whatnot. You understand? So I've been thinking about going back up north. You understand? To be closer to the main temple, and whatnot. I did want to try the Raleigh temple, which is I'd say about 3 hours away. I wanted to try the Raleigh temple. Columbia, South Carolina, thought about it, but I wanted to try the Raleigh temple for some reason. You understand? I think it's one in Florence, South Carolina. Florence, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Raleigh, and sometimes they have the message at the hotel in Charlotte over here. So it's no main temple, but they just have it at the hotel, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So I went to the main temple, Bronx temple. Violent don't have a temple, but we went there one time. I didn't go to New Brunswick, but it was the main temple and the Bronx temple, Lehman College. You know what I mean? So I would want to be closer to the main temple. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of us do. for the most part, you know. But, you know, I was a person, it still is, you know, a lot of us watch it every day. You know what I mean? Every day, for the most part, you know. All right. M90 says God is everywhere, and in some churches, so God is not only in First Church of God, right? Huh? I mean, I wouldn't say that God is just in one church. I'm pretty sure it's other places, very few, that preach the truth. You know what I mean? I'm not here to break down scripture or anything like that, but I do remember, I think that the disciples was walking past a man who was preaching the truth or talking the truth or something like that, right? And they kind of got a little, and Jesus basically told them what? Don't bother him. If somebody's preaching the truth over here or teaching the truth, why would we want to bother them? You know what I mean? Or why would somebody or a church think they're better than others who's preaching the truth? But it's very few, I'd say. Very, very few. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people is preaching the truth the way it's supposed to be preached or taught. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say that God is just in one church. I'm not going to say that. No way. Some people do think like that. You understand? Which they shouldn't at all. You know? Sister in Christ said that the South Carolina temples are coming up soon. South Carolina? What do you mean when you said SC at Sister in Christ? Let me see where that. Epic said the truth sounds different than everything else. Absolutely. Prodigal Son said holiness is good, but it can cause loneliness and isolation from the wicked world. Hey, listen, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I'm fine with that. You can think better being away from a lot of wicked people. What's up with Jen Juice? He said, what was you thinking? David B, whatever, said you escaped that one. Got that right. Ah, my goodness. All right, Sister in Christ says, being holiness, we can see the behavior of demonic spirits, but they can't see themselves being wrong or in error, but say they are Christ-like. Jen Juice said, today was a good day. Be nice. Today was a good day. What you was listening to, huh? You listen to Ice Cube? All right. Levy says, how do you feel about Malice supposedly still being a preacher even though he's back with Eclipse? I didn't really look into it. I didn't really look into no Malice being a preacher. You could type it up. I don't really see him being a preacher. It kind of got some information that he professes to be a Christian rapper. Well, listen, some people just can't leave that lifestyle. I mean, look at Mace. Look at Mace. He's back in it. You know? Just can't leave that lifestyle for the most part. You know what I mean? What's up to Roxanne? Shout out to you. Oh man, these comments is funny. What's going on? Sister Monica said, where did you find her? He said, where I find her. Just Power said, does she have a YouTube channel? We're about to pull up that Jezebel. Well, I'm not going to give no clout to that for the most part. You know what I mean? Just you know, hope the best and pray that people are doing okay. All right. What's up, the bless brother Jonah, D.L. Gully, Brandon Stewart, S. Rod, Wanda, Sister Davis. Patrick T said, is going to Rome a missionary trip? What? We don't go by the term missionary. What are you talking about, man? Missionary. We don't go by that term. Missionary trip. All right? Beholder said, that fool listened to pastor to find error, not to get understanding, in reference to Patrick T. What's up to Charlotte Ann? Shout out to you. What is that? AIEL? He says, Gino said, if they don't want the Ethiopian pastors to work, at least they should pay them. But Gino did not say to pay pastors. He was talking hypothetically. Wow. They always try to find something, right? He could be making an example. He could be being sarcastic, whatever the case may be, hypothetical. And they still try to take something. You see that? Wow. Patrick T said, looking for the time said now. He was talking about missionaries in Ethiopia. What video are you talking about? What video is this? What's up, the Frozen Mountains? Shout out to you. He would never say people need to pay a pastor. What are you talking about? How you gonna tell somebody that he said that people who got timestamps and videos and stuff like that? I know the timestamps. I'm just trying to see if you know. I'm just trying to see if you know. You know what I mean? Gino been preaching this for a long time. He never said a pastor should be paid by the congregation. Never. In no situation. No situation. I don't know where you get that from, fella. You say he didn't answer the question if he was cared for by the church. He just kept saying, I work. He didn't say no. Oh my goodness, man. Listen, man, I think you kind of off your meds right now. I think you kind of off your meds or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know what will make you think, Mr. Patrick T, that Gino would agree that a preacher should be paid. I don't know where you get that from. You know what I mean? And you're a Church of Christ guy. Right? That's what y'all do over there. Fella? That's what y'all do? Wow. All right, let's get to some more of these. Let's get to some more of these comments. What's up to Gino P? Shout out to Gino P, New York. The oldest is not giving that fool no attention. He always want to be the center of attention. Appreciate that, Gino P. What up, Daquana B? Gino P says, Baby Maine and Matt. Baby Maine made Mace go to church. Baby Maine. Baby Maine and Pop Lottie. Oh, man. You mention those two names, he'll go crazy. All right? Sion. He says, have you ever had any injuries and or surgery in your boxing days? Absolutely. Yes. I've had injuries. You know what I mean? Those who are on my Facebook, you see the old picture of me with a shiner. Oh, man. With a shiner. You know what I mean? So, yes. A lot of injuries. You understand? Broken eye orbit. Broken, dislocated nose. Loose tooth. Broken, dislocated knuckles. Well, that wasn't from boxing. That was like a self-defense type of thing. Broken rib. You know what I mean? Vertigo. What else? Vertigo we had for a while. We had a headache for 3 months before. I can't think of nothing else right now. You know what I mean? My Achilles tendon was felt funny one time. You know what I mean? And I think it was close to popping, tearing. But we took a break off that one. So what else? Our ACL was bugging out at one point. My right knee. Shoulder. One time. Last year, I pulled my muscles. I pulled my muscle right here. It was black, purple. Now, y'all ain't see it because I had it covered. I had a sleeve on. I had a therapeutic sleeve on. That took about 6 weeks to heal. Trying to think of more. But yeah, you will get injured. Not mainly from fighting. It could be from the training part. You know what I mean? Because you want to train. You train so hard that, you're beating your body up, wear and tear. You understand? And, it happens. It happens. So if you never had a broken bone, you never had a pulled muscle, you know what I mean? You don't want it. Prodigal son said Mace left because he got with Diddy. Nah. Gino P. right. Yeah, I mean, with some street stuff going on out here in the East Coast. All right. Sion says, have you ever had any challenges in your life where it made you want to give up? How did you deal with it if you are not in the truth of God? Give up? Give up on what? Life? That's what you're talking about? No way. At no point. Of course, the enemy may slither on your shoulders or whatever the case may be, metaphorically speaking, but no. No. He said, when you have severe pain, it makes you want to give up. Oh, you talking about something like that? The broken rib, I remember the shot. You don't feel it when it's happening. You don't feel it. You know what I mean? You do not feel the pain right then and there. I'm speaking for myself. So when it happened, it's a good shot. It was a good punch. right? But then the next day, woo, it's almost like the next day. Even when it happened again a second time, close to the heart area, that rib, a rib bone up there, you don't feel the pain until hours later or a day later. You know what I mean? I had to lay in bed. It felt like I couldn't even move. You understand? The first time, well, when I got caught in this eye, I think it was like 2010. It was a good shot. It was a straight shot. Boom. It wasn't hard. It was just straight. It had me seeing double vision for like a day or two. You know what I mean? Good shot. You know? But no, it didn't make me want to give up. It just makes you want to go even more and more. It's like an adrenaline rush. That's a fighter right there. True fighters, when they get injured or it's a good shot, they want to keep going more and more. That's why there's a referee out there, because they know a fighter can get himself killed. You know what I mean? That's the mindset that we have. You know what I mean? You're going to have to kill me type of mindset. You know what I mean? Real fighters. You know? All right? M90 says, are Muslims saved? Are Muslims saved? I think not. I think not. All right. AI says, Tony Harvin, here the video timestamp. Where's the link? I don't. You might have to email me. You might have to email the link, because I don't think anybody except moderators could put the link out in the chat. Sister David says, amen. I never heard him, meaning Gino, say that a pastor should be paid for preaching the word. As a matter of fact, Pastor Jennings say people ask how much he charges to come and preach for them. He kills you for free. Absolutely. Metaphorically speaking. All right. What's up, Shannon? Shout out to you. You said July 27th, timestamp 11 minutes. Okay. We're going to go to it right now. July 27th, he said, at the 11th minute, we're going to start at the 10 minute. In fact, how about we're going to start at 9 minutes. Let me see if I can check it out. July 27th. Let me see, where is it at? Okay, I see it. Well, that's a broken video on a live. But let me see if they put it out in a video format. Okay, I see it. All right, here we go.
Greetings, brothers and sisters.
I'm going to start at the 9 minute mark. 9 minutes.
Trying to stop what God started. Nobody can stop anything God starts. The way of the Lord is perfect, infallible, and it's going to be just like God says. Well, God willing, after this convention, I guess I'm here for one more Sunday, if it's the Lord's will, because I'm still waiting on my passport. I had a Zoom meeting with our team out there in the UK, and they were asking me, Pastor, you got your passport yet? I said, you pray. They're all looking for us to be in Rome, Italy. It'll be our first time in Rome, but not our first time in Italy. Because remember, after the European conference, we're scheduled to be in Johannesburg for the dedication of our big, beautiful temple there. And after that, we fly to Cape Town for the dedication of our temple there. And we also have a new temple in Durban, South Africa. So that's a blessing. I want to thank Elder Etheridge, the International Secretary of Ministers and Minister Success, the one that pastors in Johannesburg, and Brother Ray and Brother Tim. We sent those brothers to Ethiopia last week, where a group of preachers wanted to come and work along with the truth of God, so we sent them down there. You know, you need boots on the ground. Folks hear it from the air, but you need boots on the ground that can ask the necessary questions that need to be asked. So I'm glad the brothers begin to question the preachers, and the preachers told them, well, it isn't that they don't want to work. The organization that they were in forbid them to work. And yet the organization wasn't even giving them enough money to feed their families. You know, if an organization going to require for ministers not to work, then take care of them. Otherwise than that, if work is available, why stop a man from working? Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. What can you do with the man that's willing to work? Well, you can't ask for no more than that.
What are you talking about, Patrick T? What are you talking about, Patrick T? He did not say pastor should be paid. What are you talking about? Let's run that back. You gotta listen. You gotta be careful what you say, man. Seriously.
It isn't that folks hear it from the air, but you need boots on the ground that can ask the necessary questions that need to be asked. So I'm glad the brothers begin to question the preachers, and the preachers told them, well, it isn't that they don't want to work. The organization that they were in forbid them to work.
He's talking about their organization. That's their rule. Their organization. Listen, Patrick T. You gotta listen, man. Their organization.
And yet the organization wasn't even giving them enough money to feed their families.
Their organization forbid them to work. That's their rule, right? If that's their rule, why are they not giving more money so they can feed their family? That's their rule.
You know, if an organization going to require for ministers not to work, then take care of them.
He's going based upon their rule and their organization. What are you talking about? What is this guy talking about? If an organization requires them not to work, that's their rule.
Otherwise than that, if work is available, why stop a man from working? Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat.
Wow. Patrick T, man. Man, oh man. You got to listen, fella. You got to really, really listen, man. You He thought Gino was agreeing with that a pastor should be paid. What? Wow, so you just listen. Ah, man, he erred right there. Yeah. Yeah, I got him on that one. Yeah, Gino erred right there. Yeah. Huh? Oh, man. Patrick. Wow. Something ain't clicking up here, fella. Something is not clicking. Oh man, something is not clicking up there. It's like, listen, I'm better off talking to the wall. Maybe the wall can understand better. You put the sounds on the wall, the sounds will bounce right back to you. How the walls got more sense than you? The walls could bounce the sound of the truth right off and back to you. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, that's crazy, man. This man actually think that. Epic says, I imagine you guys all on the playground sometimes. All y'all getting suspended. Oh, man. Funny. Wow.
What can you do with the man that's willing to work? Well, ask for no more than that. So we'll be sending the brothers back to Ethiopia, probably in September or October for a second meeting. I, by the help of God, looked to get in Ethiopia. I was thinking, you know, wherever we plan to go, next thing I know, new areas opening up so fast. They are opening up in foreign countries just as fast as here in America, which is God's doing. And I thank God for this. Everybody don't want to go to hell. It's hot enough outside. Some of you are fanning inside. I have no plans to go to hell, none whatsoever. For that reason, it's our objective to tell the folks what is written. Now, I have two questions here that need to be answered, but let me...
Wonderful. Wow. Patrick. Right? Let's see how much time we got left before we knock off, because we want to relax and enjoy this wonderful night in peace. It's a very peaceful night, for surety. This man actually believed that, man. That's crazy. Something ain't right with that fella. Patrick T. Tubi time. Tubi time. Oh, no. No way. I mean, he said Tubi. Wow. Let me see. What's up to Marlon Smith? Shout out to you. Sister in Christ says, I pray you retire from boxing. Those are traumatic injuries. Well, maybe to normal people, but, you know, it might sound crazy, but fighters love that. They love all that. You know? You said, shall I block this dread of society? He's vexing me out. Well, I only prefer people to get blocked if they're using racial comments, blocked or timed out if they're using racial comments, threats, sexual remarks, you know, things like that. All right, what's up to Robin Harris? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. All right, Patrick T says, he says, Tony, do you make money off of playing Gino's preaching on YouTube? Are you paid for showing preaching? Wow! 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 This man asked me, well, maybe he don't know. I would say it was a dumb question, but maybe he don't understand YouTube guidelines with reused content. maybe he don't understand that. I would say it's a dumb question, but a lot of people don't understand the policies of YouTube guidelines when it comes to reused content. YouTube is not stupid. They know who is who. Nobody, right? Nobody except for First Church YouTube channel can get paid off of putting straight videos on their YouTube channel. Nobody. You understand? Just like anybody who makes up a YouTube channel, Joe Schmo, and they take videos from this channel and they just put it on straight without saying anything. You cannot get paid. You can't get paid for reused content, sir. Unless it's authorized business-wise, lawyer-wise, things like that. No. Who gets paid off of that? Do you get paid off of Fourth and Chewing Gum? Huh? Whatever that YouTube channel is. What is that? Fourth and Chew? Charleston Chew? What's the name of that YouTube channel? Who came up with that name anyway? Fourth and Chew. I couldn't find a better name. You better off using your regular name, Patrick T. That would have been better. You know? But no. You said Gino said that the organization should pay the preachers if they don't allow them to work another job. You said that. No, stop lying. You know what I mean? So, in order for somebody to get paid from their YouTube channel, you have to put up things of your own. You know what I mean? Or if you putting somebody's video up, let's just say I talk about Dr. Umar. Oh, Dr. Umar said this, and I play a small part, and I talk about it. That's significant value you're putting to a video because you're talking about something Dr. Umar said, Kevin Samuel said, Gino Jennings said, T.D. Jakes, whatever. You're talking about it. But if you just play a whole video of somebody, nothing, that's it. No, you don't get, you cannot get paid at all. In some cases, you get sued. You know what I mean? You get sued and took them to court. You understand? So go refer to YouTube policies. You know, you got your YouTube channel. You might want to look that over. You might want to look that over. Study the YouTube guidelines, reuse content, and things of that nature. Protected groups on here. What you can say, what you can't say. You know what I mean? Because anything you do as far as like violating certain things, you can get sued. Simple. All right? Let's see where we at. What's up to John Smith? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. I miss anybody? Trying to see if we missed anybody. You know what I mean? um, What's up, Jose? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. You said it's muted for you. It's muted. What is muted? Mic check. Is it muted? Let me know. Mic check. Mic check. Oh, what's up, the Drago? Shout out to you. Matthew, you said Shador Sanders balled out yesterday. Y'all seen that? Shador Sanders. Yeah, it was pretty cool. He shut a lot of people up. You know what I mean? The internet seemed to always have something to say. They had something to say about Bronny, Shador Sanders. Now look, Bronny is improving. Shador Sanders, he's really good. He got that Tom Brady type of feel. Shador Sanders. Yeah, I mean, his accuracy and things of that nature. He just gave me this Tom Brady type of throwing style. All right. Chris Russell says, I am disabled. He says, no friends. You said no friends, no family. I have rent due. Please, someone help me. I am begging for the love of God. I only need $200. If you don't get out of here, stop lying. Stop lying. Your YouTube channel said you joined November the 5th, 2024. You've been rocking out for that long? I'm looking right at your YouTube channel. He said you got rent due. You only need $200. You're disabled. Well, you come on here to ask people for money? Wow. They have programs and stuff like that in different states where as though they'll help you with that type of stuff, especially if you're disabled. You ain't paying much rent. What you paying, what, $30 or something like that? They rent be like $40. How you need $200 and you disabled and disabled people, like, they rent be so low? You know what I mean? You know? Man. Disabled. No friends or family. You said you was begging. Wow. Disabled. When you get on disability and stuff like that, let me see. What's the most you can get for being on disability? What is the most you can get from being disabled? So the maximum Social Security disability insurance benefit amount for 2025 is $3,345 a month. What? Man, listen, fella. Okay, you said depends on the age. How about minimum? You said depends on the age, but the person said they disabled. They disabled. So if you can get about $3,000 a month, what type of house you living in? Where you living at? If you can get up to a little over $3,000 in disability, you living in a condo, something? You don't need all that. You know what I mean? So there's people out there who scam people and stuff like that over the internet with comments like that. If a person said they disabled, they need money, and I'm looking at the maximum amount you can get for being disabled, and you've been on YouTube since last November, what you been doing if that's the case? You know, how you know I don't need no money? How you know I'm not struggling? How you know that? I don't have no problem with helping people out. I don't. But if somebody said, listen, I need money for my rent, whatever the case may be, I send them to a reliable resource. Simple. And of course, you're gonna have to provide paperwork, your rent, your mortgage, car note, insurance, something. You know what I mean? Something. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure a lot of us, you know, we've been through some stuff where as though we may have needed a helping hand for the most part. You know, it happens. Wow. So I'm looking at this video on Facebook. I don't know if y'all heard about it, about the Atlanta, one of those Atlanta airports. They had water pouring out of the ceiling over there. That's some crazy stuff. Wow. All right, so what else y'all talking about in here? Let's scroll down. The King of Bacons. I'm a new YouTuber. Can you shout me out? I sub. You said you are a new YouTuber. Whereas though your YouTube channel says you joined October the 12th, 2023. You a little kid, fella. What you doing on here? My video ain't for kids. The King of Bacons. I'm looking at your video right now. Get out of here. My videos are never for kids. How these kids be coming across this stuff? You got a video from August the 9th today, right? And you wrestling with somebody. Well, it's not bad or anything like that, but all right, look like you wrestling. And then you stone cold stunning your friend. Wow. He stone cold stunning his little boy. Pretty funny stuff, but this ain't the video for you. Why is you picking on this little boy, huh? He kind of looked like my son when he was younger. Kind of. Got a birthday cake. Man. It's all right, but this ain't for kids. My channel ain't for kids, really. You know how it is when we was young, those who was born back in the 80s, 70s, when we were when grown folks was talking, and then even if we look, if you look at grown people talking, you might get slapped. They used to say, stay out of grown folks' business. Or you get slapped. You understand? You probably over there laughing. You probably over there laughing over there. Patrick T said, you keep a crispy cut. That's how we know you're not struggling. What you mean? I've been cutting hair for 25 years. Just because somebody's clean cut, that don't mean they ain't struggling. All I need is a straight razor, a trimmer, and some water, and that's it. You know what I mean? That is it. You know? Man. This man said, that's how we know you ain't struggling, because you got a crispy cut. You keep a crispy cut. That's because I know how to cut hair. I'm not in the barber shop. I don't go to the barber shops. You know what I mean? I don't sit in the barber shop for hours and waiting. I can't do that, man. So that's why I learned how to cut my hair. And fresh, I think it might have been 8th grade where I first learned. You understand? Might have been 8th grade. You know what I mean? I started with the store-bought razor, clippers, and then that's why I think I had a trimmer, and took it from there. You know what I mean? So 25 years, Patrick T, 25 years or more. Wow. We got a couple of more minutes left, and then we're gonna knock off. We're gonna knock off in a couple more minutes. It's a great conversation today, in general. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure a lot of us was anticipating tomorrow's message from the Truth of God and whatnot. I hope everybody have a wonderful and blessed night, a smooth night, a wonderful dinner. If you're chilling out, watching the game, I think the Jaguars are playing, right? Or is that game over with? Oh, it's the third quarter. 21-15. Travis Hunter only got 2 receptions right now. 9 yards. Wow. Let's see how Shiloh is doing. Oh, Shiloh Sanders got a sack. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They ain't playing. Wow. Shiloh is not playing at all. Appreciate that, Shannon. Thank you for the support of this YouTube channel. God bless you and your family. What's up to TNT? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Patrick T says, in Savannah, Georgia, there's at least a 10 head wait at the barbershops. At least 10, normally 20. Well, kudos to them, because Barbershops I don't go to. You know what I mean? Unless, the last time I've been to a barbershop was 2014. You know what I mean? 2014. And before that, probably years before that. So I've probably been to the barbershop maybe twice. Might be twice in 15, 20 years. Maybe. Heard why I said for me and my son to get our haircut, it cost $60. Wow, $60. That's crazy. He says haircuts start at $100 in Atlanta. They go up to $250. I see why. It's Atlanta. I see why. It's Atlanta. Yeah, I mean $100 for a haircut. Wow. That's a lot. It's better off, you might mess up, but it's better off to learn how to cut your own hair. Simple. Yeah, I mean, simple as that. That's a lot of money right there. You know? But hey, to each his own. Maybe I try one day. Maybe I'll try one day going to the barbershop. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. You understand? All right. So if you got any last closing remarks, feel free to leave them. If you got any last closing remarks, so we can close this thing out. It's been a great conversation. Definitely appreciate y'all for coming on here. You know, chopping it up and whatnot. He said, what if those clippers made out of gold? Wow. Patrick, she said, they give facials and hot towel and laser therapy in Atlanta on your haircut. Laser therapy? I think I've seen those type of videos and whatnot. When they do all that stuff. Oh, man, that's just too much. All that stuff is too much. Honestly. That's just too much. That's too much. You understand? You could clean your skin at home. Simple. Simple cocoa butter soap. Simple. You know what I mean? Soap and water. Soap, water, some people use Noxzema, the Noxzema pads, the exfoliation, whatever. They doing all that extra stuff. You know, a hot towel. Wow. Appreciate that, Sister Davis. You too, be blessed. Let me see. Harry Watt says, spray and dye in my hair. I dislike when they do that. Spray dye? Wow. Spray dye. See if I missed anybody before we close this thing out. What's up to Action Jackson? Jen Juice says, Noxzema is the bomb. I mean, yeah, you know, especially after, you know, shaving and whatnot. You understand? And, you know, things like that could help one's skin. Depends on the person. You know, but for the most part, soap and water. You know, cocoa butter or Dove, you know, or any type of soap with, you know, vitamins and stuff like that in it could help. I know some people may have bad skin, understandable, you know, but you just gotta find out. You gotta find what works for you, skin wise. All right, getting a unit installed on your head is $1,100 a unit. What is that? What are you talking about? A unit? What is that? A unit? What is that, like a wig or something? This man said a unit. TNT says, imagine a bald man with a spray line. Eric Watson, how much you charge for a haircut? Well, I don't cut nobody hair anymore. You know what I mean? Except if it's my sons, they need a lineup or something. I don't cut hair anymore. But I did it for free, but people still gave me money at the time. So I had no charge. It was free. You know, but I don't cut people's hair no more. So just my hair and my two sons if they need it. You know what I mean? And I don't even like doing that no more. All right. Gino P says vitamin C cleanser. All right. Patrick T says I'm not cutting my hair. It's still growing and I'm happy. My brother is bald. Oh man, he said shots fired, bad skin. Well, I mean, you know, some people got bad skin. You know what I mean? I had bad skin. You know what I mean? I think when I was 17, 16, whatever, somewhere around there, my skin was bad. I didn't like my skin. You know what I mean? So at one point it was bad. And blessedly, I found what works for me. You know what I mean? And what worked for me was the Palmer's cocoa butter soap. You know what I mean? That worked. And ever since then, I never stopped using their brands and whatnot. So I can relate to having bad skin at one point. All right, Patrick T says, a unit is like weed for men. It's fake hair and locks. Wow. Is it that serious? I might as well just cut my hair bald. That's what I do anyway sometimes, or let it grow out, the wave up, and whatnot. But I wouldn't dare do anything like that or consider putting a wig. Who would sit there and get what you call it, a unit? I think I've seen some people got the beards also that they do. Now they got what you call it a unit, so I'm gonna call it a unit beard that they do. That's crazy. Pat, you said also in cornrows. Patrick T says Steve Harvey and Jamie Foxx used to wear that's a unit. Wow. You said Miss Frida has bad skin. I don't know who Miss Frida is. Miss Frida, who is that? Let me look that person up. Miss Frida. Who is that? I actually look like a transformer. If that's what you're talking about. I look like a transformer, fella. Jim Juice says some men wear toupees like the Orange Man in the White House. Toupees. He said Skittle alert. Skittle alert. Oh, y'all said it's a Skittle? A fruit cup. Wow. You're looking at Miss Frida. Well, that's not even a miss, number one. Let me take that back. You looking at that fella, Patrick T. That's a fella. You call that fella a miss? Wow. You address that fella as a miss? Patrick T, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. You know? he said, fella, LOL. TNT says, okay, we're officially revoking Pat's man card for a while. Wow. Wow. All right, we got to go. We got to wrap this thing up. Hope everybody have a wonderful night. It's been a good conversation. For the most part, Lord willing, we'll be on tomorrow with a recap if they happen to go on live, Truth of God. Or we'll just have a basic conversation for the most part. So I hope everybody have a wonderful night. Appreciate all my moderators out there, everybody doing their thing on YouTube in general. You know what I mean? God bless to everybody out there. I'm Tony Harvin. Tony Harvin YouTube channel. Tony Harvin Network YouTube channel. I'm out. Peace.